today is the second part of chapter digestion and absorption, plus one class biology. In the previous part 1, we discussed about the process of digestion and alimentary canal, the parts of alimentary canal and associated gland with this, and type of teeth, then the dental formula, and the three condition in our body, that is heterodont, thecodont, and diphyodont. So let's start our first topic. Very important table for your board exam, for your class exam, as well as for your multiple choice questions also. Now, these are the names of glands that are present in our human body, and the type of secretion and the site of action. Means this table consists of a complete, you can say, record of the glands that are present in our body and its secretion, the site of action, and the enzymes, and which type of food the enzyme will digest, and the end product associated with this enzyme also. So start with the first gland, named as salivary gland. Salivary gland, as we know, salivary gland is present in our buccal cavity. So the site of action is our buccal cavity. And secretion, saliva release from salivary gland. So let's start with salivary gland. This one, first one is salivary gland. So salivary gland release saliva. Secretion is saliva, and the site of action is buccal cavity, means where the saliva will act, buccal cavity. And the enzyme present in saliva is salivary amylase. The enzyme is salivary amylase. And the food is a starch or carbohydrate. Carbohydrate is digested by saliva, and the end product is maltose. Then next, gastric gland. Gastric gland is present in stomach. Yes, gastric gland release gastric juice plus HCl. Gastric juice plus HCl. Site of action is stomach, where it is released, and the stomach is the site of action. And enzyme, gastric juice contain pepsin and renin. Pepsin and renin is present in inactive form, and it is activated by HCl. Pepsin is present in pepsinogen, and renin is present in prorenin form. So pepsin help for the digestion of protein. P for pepsin, P for protein. You can remember the sequence: P for pepsin, P for protein. So starch digestion starts in mouth, but protein digestion will start in stomach only with the help of enzyme known as pepsin, and the digestion of milk protein is with the help of renin. So and the end product is protein is converted into peptones and proteoses, and the milk protein will convert it into para-casein. And the function of HCl is to convert pepsinogen into pepsin, already discussed. Then liver. Liver is the largest gland in our body. Liver release bile juice. Liver release bile juice, but the bile juice will reach in the small intestine area, duodenum portion. So the site of action is duodenum, and bile juice does not contain any enzyme. This is a very important NCERT question, that bile does not contain any enzyme, yet it is very useful for our digestion of food. So why it is necessary? Bile juice will act on fats, and it will convert the fat molecule into small chain like structure. So emulsification of fat will take place. Then pancreas. Pancreas release pancreatic juice. Pancreas release pancreatic juice, and the site of action is duodenum. And pancreatic juice contain enzyme amylase, trypsin, and lipase. So pancreatic juice contain three type of enzyme: pancreatic amylase, trypsin, and lipase. Pancreatic amylase. Salivary amylase target on starch. So as same name represent, pancreatic amylase will target on starch and glycogen, and trypsin will help in the digestion of protein, and lipase will help in the digestion of fat. So it is written here, amylase will act on starch and glycogen, trypsin will act on protein, and lipase will act on emulsified fat. And amylase convert the starch into maltose and isomaltose. Protein with the help of trypsin will convert it into peptones and peptides, and emulsified fat with the help of lipase will convert it into fatty acid and glycerol. Now next gland is intestinal gland. Intestinal gland release intestinal juice. Another name of intestinal juice is succus entericus, and intestinal gland also release some amount of mucus. Intestinal juice will act at small intestine, and the enzymes are ellipsin, maltase, sucrase, lactase, and lipase. These are the enzymes that are present in small intestine, and the food that will be digested with the help of these enzymes are peptones. Maltase digest maltose, sucrase digest sucrose, lactase lactase digest lactose, lipase digest triglyceride, and it will convert it into amino acid, glucose monoglycerides. Okay, then the mucus will be cover the wall of large intestine, and it will help for the lubrication. The main function of mucus, when the mucus is present in the you can say alimentary canal, the main function of mucus in every part is to provide lubrication. Then next, this is the digestion of carbohydrate. Very easy and very important topic. So carbohydrate digestion starts in mouth, and the main enzyme is salivary amylase. So that we must remember the different type of digestion in a correct sequence. We must start the digestion from our mouth, then we will move towards the esophagus or stomach, small intestine or large intestine. So carbohydrate digestion starts in buccal cavity, and it contains salivary amylase, and starch converted into maltose. So the main function of salivary amylase is to convert starch into maltose. Then the food will move in esophagus, no digestion of food will be taken. Then the food will move in stomach, no digestion of carbohydrate in stomach. Then the food will move in small intestine. Small intestine has some enzymes that are required for the digestion. That is, small intestine has pancreatic amylase released by pancreas, maltase, lactase, sucrase. So in small intestine, final digestion. So in small intestine, final digestion of starch will be take place. This is starch, pancreatic amylase, and converted into maltose. This is maltose. With the help of maltase, it will convert into glucose. Lactose, with the help of enzyme lactase, converted into glucose. So the end product of digestion of starch is glucose, and the end product of starch digestion will be achieved in small intestine area. So the complete digestion of starch will take place in small intestine, and the digestion of starch starts in buccal cavity. So thank you. This is all about in today's lecture. In today's lecture, we cover only two main topics that are required for this complete chapter. First is the glands, the site of action, the enzymes that are associated with the glands, and the targeted food. Then we start the carbohydrate digestion, very important topic for your exam also. So thank you.